Benjamin,
Yo.
I heard you had some adventures with the Dark Lord last week.
Yeah, there was an awkward dude popping up here.
But now the light is back.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah,
bright lord today.
yeah.
Yeah. What about yourself? You fixed everything. You're back in full.
Ish. My laptop is has recovered well, but it requires a bit more surgery. There is one part which has been ordered, which will take a bit of time to come, but otherwise we're in good shape. We are in good shape.
There's also one other part that I would advise you to order to solve this. It is called MacBook. That's
Yeah, I don't. I just. Yeah, that's just a waste. No, no.
you're struggling with the Counter Strike, huh?
No, no, it's just like there's so much I could say, and I don't want to without alienating audiences who watch this on the MacBook. But no, I'm not a fan. I like this back and forth. The Android Apple eternal. It reminds me of another epic battle that happens, like a Messi versus Ronaldo. It's like two greats coming together. Speaking of whom, man, the hot topic in the world of football, in the world of sport, in the world of everything,
Shock move.
crazy. Crazy. I mean, it to be honest, shocking and not shocking. Last year, he was this close to actually not renewing his deal. Um, this year, he wanted to. Everybody wanted him to, and La Liga said no. Fair play to them. Yeah, Barcelona just messed up in a bad spot.
I'm very convinced, but it's just my opinion, that Barcelona and their president already knew a while ago that this was going to go down. This is staged, my friends.
Yeah, again, there's been a lot of talk. I mean, I think when Bartomeu left, it was pretty clear that they couldn't afford him. They were happy to let Messi go, but Laporta had to. I mean, he can't alienate the fans. He can't say no, it's okay. Messi can carry on.
That's
He had
the
no
best way
choice.
out for them. They can say, "Hey, we didn't decide it. It was the league. Sorry."
Yeah. And I mean, and Tebas is like, hey, we said this from day one. We haven't changed anything. This has been the rule since day one. It's not like we suddenly pulled the rug on
Exactly.
this. Yeah. So
Exactly. Yeah.
anyway, good times.
Sweet. Switching from the hardcore sports industry to the sports tech industry, we got cinque, cinq, fünf topics. What's that in Hindi? What's five in Hindi?
Panch.
Patch. That's easy. That's a good one. I like it. Patch. Oh.
Yeah.
So high five is high patch.
Yeah.
Nice.
The top 5 bits of news. All right. So I'm going to kick it off. Sticking to the world of football, we have something from Arsenal. Now, what I love is not this club, first of all, absolute rubbish. But what I love is their tagline at the start of this article, which says, this scheme, we'll get to the scheme, but it's part of Arsenal's aim to become the most innovative football club in the world.
Let's see.
Lofty ambitions. I'm not sure how much this contributes, but here's what it is. It's a new fan rewards program. Most innovative, probably not, but maybe it's something interesting for the Arsenal fans. What is this fan rewards program? Basically, like any rewards program, it rewards activity. So you as a fan, if you buy a ticket and go to the Emirates or buy some merchandise or I don't know, maybe buy a hot dog in the stadium or a beer, you will be rewarded. And the points that you receive on your rewards card will entitle you to more rewards and merchandise and points. It's a fairly clear, simple reward system. I'm actually surprised. Correct me if I'm wrong, but to the best of my knowledge, there's no such system in sports in the football world. I haven't seen this before.
I mean, there were some tries before, also from a Berlin-based company, and in the end, I think it didn't really work out. I think some clubs have some sort of these programs, the loyalty programs, but the question is always how new is it? How innovative is it? Is
Exactly.
it used by fans? I mean, if you Google it, you will find, I don't know, 20 articles that say loyalty programs don't work, don't do it. So there's always like two parts to that.
Yeah, two sides of the coin. But coming back to this coin, quickly, what does it do? As you can see, Adidas and Cadbury are already on board. So maybe you'll get a pair of shoes and a chocolate to go with it. The reward scheme is going to be in effect this season already. And the interesting another line: money can't buy experiences. Which, okay, I don't know if Aubameyang is gonna let you score a penalty with him or something. I have no idea. But yeah, it's eligible for season ticket holder, adult paying members. This article had so many one sentences that I just found very curious. We'll leave in the build up to the new campaign. Yeah, it's a pretty straightforward. The article goes to it, but yeah, it's a rewards program by Arsenal. I think a good initiative. Yeah, maybe it's a good to try to do something. Will it succeed? Like Arsenal, probably not.
I mean, yeah, I wonder why this plays a role in becoming the world's most innovative football club. So what I would like to see personally, also from a fan perspective, is that like all the systems are properly integrated, like not adding another login, another site that I have to visit. So if I'm anyways, let's say a season ticket holder and it's like flawlessly integrated in whatever solution I might use there, or it's moving from a rather offline product to a online product and makes a nice holistic package, then I would like it. And even more would I be amazed if there, of course, would be a NFT blockchain component to it. But yeah, that's maybe asking a bit too much, because I think it was this week or last week, they also announced the partnership with Socios, like everybody else in the sports world these days. So there is an Arsenal fan token. So I'm also wondering, okay, there is a loyalty program with potentially points. There is an Arsenal fan token with Socios. So how does that all come together? So that's my big question. And
yeah, right now it's unclear. Right now it's unclear, but let's see. It's yeah, I don't expect much. It's Arsenal. Come on, it's Arsenal.
It's Arsenal.
Arsenal.
They're not so bad. I like it. All right, then I guess it's me with topic number 2. All right, here we go. We are talking about the NFL. Little side question. Guess who just bought tickets to the NFL game in London in October? Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
Wasn't me.
Who else could it be?
It's you, Benjamin.
It's me. First time NFL game, hopefully, if nothing stops me, COVID and all that. Yeah, that is not relevant for anyone in the audience, but allow me that comment. Coming back to the NFL, they, together with AWS, launch a challenge. And this is not the first time they're doing this, it's the second time. The first time, we might have talked about it. I'm not entirely sure. I'm not sure if it was in this show or somewhere else. So they had this challenge where they were looking for improvements with their helmets. So, I mean, as we all know, players get hit. It's about concussions that the NFL is taking way more seriously than they've done it years ago. So they really want to make sure that they're reducing also the long-term impact that their players might have because of getting hit on the head. So now there is a second challenge with AWS, and now it's about, as you can read here, ways to automate player identification using NFL game footage. And what this is about is actually pretty simple. So they're just asking solutions out there. Are you capable of analyzing the existing footage, so the NFL game footage, and can you analyze based on this content if players might be injured, how can you prevent injuries and all that. So they're basically tracking all their players and try to identify ways of keeping their players fit and healthy and also contributing to the overall health, independent from the helmet, let's say. So this is what this is about. There is a price tag as always. You can win up to $100,000 US. And it is open through November. So startups out there can apply if they think it just based on whatever fan sees out there, the same footage, we can analyze the footage and improve the player's health. It's not an easy task, in my opinion. What do you think?
Probably not. Quickly, yeah, you were absolutely right. We had mentioned another initiative from the NFL, the helmet one, in episode 12 of our show. Today we're on episode 25. We have to celebrate our quarter century, Ben.
Wow,
we're motoring along on this. But yeah, that was a few weeks ago. NFL again bringing the innovation. I guess trying to keep pace with the NBA, who does so much cool stuff. The MLB actually is also probably, I would say, on average, more innovative than the NFL, and this is a good way for them to get there. The challenge itself, yeah, curious. I like the idea of almost using not exactly publicly available data, but kind of publicly available data, and then taking that to the next level. Yeah, curious to see the outcome.
Yeah, and they always speak about, that's why I highlighted this here, the digital athlete. So the NFL is using that term, and they say, hey, we want to know everything about them. We want to understand them. And then, I mean, they always have their product in mind, make sure that everybody can play and perform.
Yep.
So, yeah, good efforts there.
Nice one.
Next one.
Okay, moving along within American sports, we were talking about how the NFL racks up against its counterparts, the other leagues, and this is a good example of the MLB playing their innovation cards. Now, personally, I'm not a big fan of Barstool Sports. Ben, I don't know how familiar you are with the founder, Dave Portnoy.
I've read a few weird things, let's put it that way.
He's a bit of a dodgy dude. I remember, I mean, Barstool Sports was also a platform which used to have, they used to call it the Barstool Babes and like a whole bunch of stuff like that. Typical every day there's a very attractive woman kind of showing herself off a bit and all that kind of very cheesy, very mass market stuff. Dave Portnoy himself, I actually saw an episode of him conducting interviews at the AVN, the Adult Video Network Awards in Las Vegas about it. So he's an interesting dude, shall we say. There have also been allegations about a lot of other stuff happening at Barstool Sports. Just sounding that out because I'm not a big fan of the company, but they are still doing some cool stuff. They, of course, got acquired. Well, not acquired, but there was a significant investment made in them by Penn National Gaming. That was at the start of last year. A big, nice 160 million check, which is apparently for about 35% of the company. So Dave Portnoy, all said and done, the guy's built a large business for himself, and now he is getting into streaming MLB games potentially being the emphasis. There is a 50-50 chance that the two sides will meet in agreement, according to the New York Post. But yeah, again, there he is, the Dave Portnoy, always in the news. He's also a major contributor to Fox News. That's your opinion in any way. But yeah, I mean, they talk about that's the guy. They talk about streaming MLB games. Why this is important and why I mentioned the Penn National Gaming thing is because it just brings it closer and closer to betting. A big part of the investment that Penn National Gaming made in Barstool Sports was to launch the Barstool Sports book, which I believe is already live, and the broadcast, you can best believe, will be close to betting as well, and they will have some rights around it. I think that's an interesting one. From the MLB's side, makes sense. This is a company with good backing, good reach, that they can piggyback on and get into more digital broadcasting.
Yeah, just before I comment, we had a comment in the chat. I answered, but we had the classic situation that we get a message through LinkedIn, and through this platform here, we can only answer to Twitch and YouTube. So while the show is running, I would have to go to LinkedIn to answer. So Rakesh, cheers, man.
Actually, shout out to Rakesh. He also pointed out an error in one of our reporting on one of our tweets. But we fixed that one. Thanks, Rakesh. Good. Thanks for looking out for us.
Don't publicly say that we made mistakes, Ron. That's
okay. We're all human.
Yeah, I mean, everything about Barstool, I mean, it's pretty simple. Also especially amongst the big American leagues, they look for big audiences, young audiences. I mean, we've seen TikTok, we've seen Snapchat, we've seen Twitch. Like, they're testing everything, and now it's Barstool. So I mean, just one more. Yeah, and what I'm not. Yeah, what I don't like so much is what you said. I mean, if a company has, let's say, a little bit, debatable background, I don't know. Maybe I'm not sure if they should cooperate then. But
I think that's the one. I mean, I was just looking for this little bit that ESPN were in talks to cancel something with Barstool Sports. I mean, I don't know. It's an interesting company. Let's just leave it at that, and hopefully they'll find a good resolution with the MLB.
Sounds good. Topic number 2 is mine then. If I would find the caption, here we go. The field of dreams. You were a little boy when this was published. I was also a little boy, but not as little as you were back then.
Cheers.
What a bad introduction. Yeah, famous movie, 1989. Kevin Costner, right? One of the classic sports movies where he builds this baseball field and they come, yeah, because they have to build it in order for them to come. So the MLB has this, I don't know when they did it for the first time, but yeah, as part of their entertainment program or pushing their league, they also have an actual MLB Field of Dreams game where they set up this temporary baseball field, and then they bring in a bunch of stars to play there. And surrounding this event, the MLB Field of Dreams, I think we even have a picture here. So this is how it's gonna look. The game is on August 12th. So this is a temporarily built one. They will come and play there. And for this game, they are testing something. And I find it kind of exciting also because we're working on a 5G related report. They bring in cooperation with T-Mobile, a very nicely, decently magenta branded drone, a 5G powered drone. And that drone will hover and fly around the field and bring entirely new insights and content, because as you might see here, it is equipped with cameras. And this shows the power of 5G, because with 5G, you're not relating to cable-based cameras anymore. The connection is so quick and has so good upload speed that you can use a drone to produce 4K, even potentially 8K signals from that drone live. And I'm really curious to see what this looks like. Imagine just a drone flying around the field. The only danger is, though, that if a player hits a proper home run, that will bring down the drone. Even though I would like to see that, I hope it's not gonna happen. Long story short, completely new content, tested in the Field of Dreams. I think it's gonna look great.
Yeah, I mean, I think my only one when I read the story was, yeah, okay, I think the 5G element and the real-time streaming is the one. But I mean, of course, drones are used in broadcasting of sports. It made me realize that there must be more delay than I thought there was when they capture footage from drones. That's number one. But okay, this will make it faster, better, so on and so forth, and we're all in favor of that. And number two, just how this drone looks. It just looks a bit dodgy. I don't know. To me, it looks like the character from Alien, the alien from Alien, a little bit. No, like with the thing in the.
Yeah.
I feel like Sigourney Weaver needs to come in and save me or something.
I have to think about Gremlins as well.
Maybe Gremlins as well.
Yeah,
but yeah.
I mean here, right? I mean it's a face here. I mean here, those eyes, the nose, and
full on. Yeah, a bit dodgy. I'd stay away from that drone. Okay.
All right, take it away for this week.
Our top story for the week. We're going to stay with the Olympics because it was fun. Ooh. It was fun. I mean,
third time in a row we talk about Olympics and tech.
I mean, I feel like we should give the Olympics enough attention, but because it seems like it didn't get enough attention otherwise.
And this is a good one. I like the story.
Yeah, this is a fun little story. Yeah, I mean, obviously the Olympics was fun. I think the only part of the Olympics that I caught live was actually the closing ceremony. Everything else I got a bunch of highlights from. But we had a golfer, Nelly Korda, won the Olympic gold wearing her Whoop strap. Whoop and the LPGA are super well integrated. I think we've talked about this before. But wearing her Whoop strap throughout the time that she was playing, it was tracking, of course, her heartbeat and a bunch of other data points. But the most interesting part of it was that look at her heartbeat when she closed out her round with her winning putt at 142, but her high comes much later. When the US national anthem played and the medal was draped around her neck, Korda's heartbeat soared to 172 BPM. Talk about bringing the emotion out there.
Yeah, I mean, she's so in control potentially of what she does and so focused, and in the gold medal round she's super calm. And then later
it's a release of emotion, and I think this is the kind of stuff that you kind of like to see. I mean, it's interesting to see what an athlete actually goes through. I mean, the data, the group partnership also spoke about how she was sleeping, what her recovery was like. Interesting stuff. I think they're just putting it out there to promote what kind of data Whoop captures, which is always interesting, but especially what an athlete goes through. But staying in the theme of interesting tech at the Olympics and how it played a role in winning golds, we move from golf to the shot put and how the US shot put team actually used tech that is used in golf to improve their form and lead to winning golds at the Olympics. I thought this was an interesting one. They use radar tracking systems from TrackMan and FlightScope,
Hmm.
which are devices that golfers use, and it showed them different release about it showed data about Krauser and how he can improve his release and how it can change his angle to get the putt even further. All interesting stuff for thinking about learning going across sports. Now, before I come back to you, Ben, I'll just also highlight that this year at the Tokyo 2020 Olympics, a lot of records stumbled, and tech had a big part in that. We've talked about shoes a lot, not so much on this show, but in general, uh, Nike's Vaporfly Next Percent, especially, and that shoe and how it's been tumbling marathon records. Use of different types of wearables, AI powered coaching, different athletes. This was a nice article that I read about it, which I wanted to bring up. But before rehashing all of that, the most interesting line was where it closed. And this is something that I definitely want to explore as a topic much deeper. Is there such a thing as technological doping? Is there tech going too far?
A couple things on this.
Sure.
First of all, I'm always cautious when I read those articles because I guarantee you, no matter who wins whichever competition, there's at least one article saying this is how tech actually helped that person to win. This is a trend over the last couple of years, so I always read them with caution. But there are lots of tech solutions that actually help. Just one observation. The other thing is our good friend Arno Hermans from the Netherlands. Do you remember him?
Of course.
I'm sure he's not watching, and I haven't heard from him in a while. But Arno, like let's say 2-3 years ago, he secured the domain techdoping.com, and he was writing about where tech could potentially be seen as doping. So he was ahead of his time. That's what I want to say first. And to then also answer your question after all this, yes, of course, there is something like tech doping, but it's hard to track, and sometimes it's not even illegal. Yeah, I mean, the most present one that I have in mind is, I don't know which shoe it was that obviously gave an advantage. I think it was the Nike Vaporfly, right? Where like all athletes suddenly switched to that shoe and used some duct tape to like cover the brand to stay compliant with whatever like shoe deal they had. This was an obvious one. So yeah, that's a bit tricky. But if it's for preparation to analyze your performance and all that, I think that's legal, and then I wouldn't call it doping. But it's a strong tech influenced support.
Yeah, I think that's the big word, doping, because doping is the word that has so much negative connotation. And that's the line where it crosses, because tech is, of course, used and it's ubiquitous. We use it every day. So it only makes logical sense that an elite athlete performing at the elitist of elite levels will be getting as much help and support as they can. Every sportsman in the world does it. That's not the question. The big question is, where does the line exist? Is it you? If anything you do in training, I think obviously it's kosher. Do whatever you want, get that edge. But when it translates to actual field of play, they're having this primarily is in equipment. Yeah, as you said, shoes, bats, balls, etc. That's where I think is the thin line. And I think most of the articles, you're right, there's a lot been written about it, and most of them tend to talk about, yeah, but this athlete has access to this and this one doesn't. I mean, the tech is out there. Everybody has access if they can afford it or whatever. But it's when it gets to equipment that's the tricky one. But
Just
yeah, it was good to see more gold stumbling at the Olympics.
Yeah,
Or
just had
records.
one funny picture in mind that I of course want to share with you. Yeah, our audience doesn't know, but this guy and myself on Sunday we will go to Formula E in Berlin. Yes, and just had to think about it. Like Vettel last Formula One race got disqualified because there was not enough fuel left in his car. What is interesting with motorsports, like the cars get looked at by the officials after every race very carefully. I wonder if this is going to happen with shoes and all other equipment at some point, because there might be tech doping, what we're speaking about. I'm sure in some sports that's already happening, or that gets, I don't know, some sort of standard material. But I can imagine that this is gonna happen at some point. That, like your entire equipment gets checked for some artificial help.
Yeah, absolutely. Fair point. I mean, it happens in cricket. There has been experimentation, happens in baseball, where aluminum bats and what types of material goes in the middle of the bat, all that kind of stuff to get the ball out of the park even more in further. Yeah, it's absolutely fair point.
Let's get the ball out of this park as well and finish for today. I think we are done. Is that correct?
That is correct, man.
Cool. Or do you still want to talk about the La Liga deal that you try to sneak into this show, even though it's not tech?
I mean, we mentioned it at the top. I think what La Liga stance is clear. I mean, their big partnership with CVC that they've announced. Let's see where that goes. But I mean, for me, Messi moving out of La Liga, big question marks on the future of La Liga. Let's see where this decision takes them.
I mean, they didn't make me an offer yet, but I think it cannot take much longer.
Probably not. I'm sure it's in the mail. In the German post, the Deutsche Post, it'll get to you soon.
By the way, it reminds me of Ron and myself tomorrow testing a football app. So we are playing football, aka soccer, tomorrow to bring you a new review. I think maybe not next week, but the week after, right? Where we
probably
test some product again, and you see us competing probably. In soccer.
You'll see Ben falling probably, but that's part and
and that's a given. All right, guys, that's it for this week. Have a lovely rest of the week and see you next week.